faction of the People's Democratic Party, led by National Chairman Kabiru Turaki, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has filed an appeal challenging last week's judgment of a federal high court which nullified last November's National Convention of the party in Ibadan. In delivering the judgment, the Federal High Court in Ibadan, presided over by Justice Uche Agomo, also sacked all officials elected at the convention and affirmed the caretaker committee of the faction loyal to the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike. In addition, the court barred Turaki and others who emerged as National Working Committee members from parading themselves as national officers of the party. For a breakdown of this development, I'm now being joined by Umar Sani, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party and a one-time special advisor on media to former President Namadi Sambo. Good to see you, Umar Sani the Cat. Thank you for joining us on this.
It's my pleasure, Dr. Rupen Abati. Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Thank you. And then happy birthday in arrears. It was your birthday recently. Still expecting the implications. Yeah. Now, very quickly. Now, Ini Ememobong, spokesperson of your party, following the ruling of the High Court in Ibadan, says that the court needs to stay away from the internal affairs of the PDP before the judiciary also becomes a major problem. And he also referred to the fact that the chief judge of the Federal High Court, I think in this case, Justice Soho, had gone, I think 2 years back or so, to begging Nyesom Wike for land allocation. Well, that sounds really contemptuous, but that's part of the argument that is being put forward by the PDP. Why would the PDP not respect the decision of a court of competent jurisdiction and read motives into the decision of court?
Well, let me be very clear. This thing that he said is not contemptuous because it's in the public domain. The videos are all over the place. He went there, he was received by Wike, and he made his request public. So it's nothing contemptuous. What we are saying, in essence, in that respect, is that this is a settled matter. The Supreme Court has settled this matter just even recently in the decided case of INEC versus SDP. Decided case of Nenadi Usman versus Julius Abure. And in so many other decisions, even including that of the PDP, that leadership issues, internal issues of a political party is not the business of the court. It is not justiciable. You can't even take it to court. Now, what is making us, what is making that judgment very laughable, if we may say, is that we are the ones who filed the suit before Justice Agomo. We filed the suit looking for an order of mandamus, compelling INEC to recognize our team. The Wike group or the Anyanwu group just joined, and in their prayer, which is the only prayer before the court, is that we should be denied. The issue of the convention was never mentioned. The issue of Abdurrahman's caretaker committee was never mentioned. It's not even part of the brief. Our lawyers never argued on that. The other lawyers never argued on that. And then all of a sudden, if you say, okay, you are denying us our prayer for an order of mandamus, we agree, because you said you cannot seal in appeal of a matter that a court of coordinate jurisdiction has already decided upon. That is why it stops. Now, why would we be a Father Christmas? To give them reliefs they never sought for. So we felt that we are not safe in the Federal High Court. Anywhere we go, we are not getting it easy. Now, I'll give you another example. Dr. Abati. We recently filed a suit saying the police should leave our properties and allow us make use of that property. There are some judges which we termed judges of particular concern. And there are 3. In fact, there are 4, but one has been suspended by the NJC, Justice Iyang Eko. These 3, we mentioned it, that they are justices that anytime wicked cases go to them, he must win by any means necessary. So we don't want them to handle our case. When we filed the suit, we wrote to the Chief Justice, John Soho. He still sent it to her. He just sent it to Justice Joyce Abdul Malik. And when the matter was brought in for hearing, in fact, it was just for mention. She took about 15 minutes rebuking our lawyer, calling him all sorts of names, and even saying that she wonders why some people are even giving SAN. So we find it difficult to understand why the Federal High Court is totally against us. Is it because we don't have any land to give to anybody? Or what is the issue? What is the issue? What is the problem? Anyway. That the Federal High Court, anywhere we go, they apportion us. Something nobody pleaded for, nobody sought for. You now became a Father Christmas, and you are dashing them. Take this, take this, take this.
Okay. While it is true that the court is not a Father Christmas place, not granting, prayers that have not been placed before it, there's also a concept of judicial activism. Maybe the judge in this case was just being an activist judge. Now that PDP has said, there is no shaking, no cause for alarm, and that the rebirth movement in the PDP is steadily on course. Now, what options are available? What concrete steps are being taken by the Kabiru Turaki-SAN-led NWC?
You see, right from the beginning, this is an internal party matter. Now, most people outside like to give applause to something that they know nothing about. The Supreme Court has settled this matter like I told you earlier on. So it is something that is not supposed to even come before the court. Now, I will give you an instance what happened at the judges' conference that just happened. Her Lordship Justice Helen Agumumiju said she is disturbed by the actions of certain courts, that when the Supreme Court has settled a matter, they still reactivate it. They still allow it to come over. And then she said, well, I'm not even talking about the courts. I'm talking about the Federal High Court. That the Federal High Courts will always resuscitate a matter that already settled. Instead of them to... the chief just stood up to say it is because we have not followed our constitution, or we have not followed this. She said, regardless, we are not supposed to interfere. You are not supposed to interfere in the internal affairs of a political party. It's a political matter. Once the court interferes, it becomes a political party, an interested party in the political affairs of. So we are moving. You have asked a very fundamental question. We have already appealed and we have filed a stay of execution. A motion for stay of execution, which we have filed. And as you know, as a lawyer, if you file a motion for stay, it serves as a temporary stay pending the hearing and determination of the motives or notice. Now, we have filed a stay. So, yes. So as far as we are concerned, the judgment never took place. The judgment was not what we envisaged would happen. The judgment is not something that should be referred to. The judgment cannot come when there is a valid appeal. It cannot come after an appeal has been entered on all those issues. Now, the issue is what they are looking for in the case of in the court of Dr. Abdul Malik. They are looking for that same order to say we should stop parading ourselves and to nullify the convention. Now, we were able to navigate that one properly. That's why she moved it to February 20th, because she was unable to deliver that judgment. Now, they had to go through the back door to get that other one at the Federal High Court. So at the Federal High Court, we don't have, but we are very confident that this is a matter that has been settled. and that any roadblock that is being put across the road is merely a landmine, which we will clear very soon.
Okay, I like your optimism, but it's not right to say that a judgment of court does not exist. It exists, even if it was arrived at, in your view, per incuriam. The option available is to go to a higher court to set it aside. But to say it does not exist, in fact,
we have done that.
We will be wrong. Yeah. However, what does this say? What does this say about the future of the PDP? You know, some members of the party, prominent members, have left the party. Some have even said, oh, I would have loved to stay in PDP, but let me go to another party because of these same legal tussles. Now, any concerns about the future of the party? Very soon, we'll enter the season for primaries and candidates emerging. You don't think this it's a major
if you remember, you interviewed in Ibadan. You had the opportunity to interview Governor Seyi Makinde. And in that interview, he did mention that Wike made a pledge to Mr. President that he was going to hold the PDP for him. Perhaps that was responsible for the reason why Mr. President, when he appeared before the joint session of the National Assembly, came out categorically to say that the PDP, it gives him great pleasure to see the PDP in disarray. Now, the general idea is that we should not produce candidates. That is the reason why they are pursuing this thing. It is not about the future of the party. But as far as we are concerned, we are more inclined, we are more disturbed about the future of our party. We want our party to participate. We want our party to be the opposition, as it were. And we don't want people to be leaving our party merely for the purpose of contesting election. However, we are very confident, like our chairman said, that the Court of Appeal had just done a Marshall Plan in the Lagos axis by treating about 500 appeal cases. And that the same Court of Appeal will do a Marshall Plan in Abuja to tackle about 400 cases and dispense them before, within a reasonable time. This is what he had to say, and we entirely agree with him.
Okay, thank you very much, Umar Sani, chieftain of the People's Democratic Party. We'll just keep a watching brief on developments within the PDP and what happens with all these cases that have been filed in court.